La Media and One Nation FM.
So we'll be joining Reaaz Ahmed pretty shortly from the Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital. To get us there, we've asked for some sound bites. We've asked for voice notes or text, and there's a couple of voice notes. I think we can play. Let's just get Ziad, my technical guy, to do just that.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Balance. That's something I'm concerned about. There's a tendency to feed one's family, overfeed one's own family or families and friends. And most of the family and friends are comfortably off and they do have. Shouldn't we spread ourselves out a little and come out of the comfort zone?
Okay, that's a question. Shouldn't we come out of the comfort zone? Tell you what, I don't know your name, but you've certainly raised an important one. Well, how do we come out of this comfort zone that you talk about? I mean, one thing is do it, but how do we do it? Examples of this balance or imbalance that maybe currently exists in just about most people's lives, I would think. Right. Okay, I think we are connected now with Reaaz Ahmed. He is the chairman of the facilities board at the Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital. Before I go to him, what about your examples? You know what you do? WhatsApp, text or voice note 061 766 0355. Reaaz, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Jumma Mubarak. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum salam to you, Ashraf. And assalamu alaikum to all the listeners out there, and Jumma Mubarak to all of you.
Thank you. So broadly, Red Cross Children's, I'm getting the full name, Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital. That's a bit of a mouthful. In a one-liner, what is it that the hospital does?
Well, I'm sure so many of you are familiar, have heard of Red Cross Children's Hospital. But I mean, the hospital's around for more than 65 years. It was actually the first standalone tertiary hospital which specializes in treatment of children in sub-Saharan Africa. And we treat currently about 250,000 patients every year that come through the doors of the hospital. Also, I mean, in terms of the hospital, it's not just a hospital, it's a tertiary hospital. So a lot of the pediatricians and a lot of the doctors out there that needed pediatric, when they were doing the pediatrics during the studies, a lot of them actually did it at Red Cross Hospital because of the specialization that we offer, not only here in South Africa, but for the entire continent. You know, a lot of people from Africa actually come to learn at the hospital. In fact, we see patients from Western Cape, South Africa, and Africa, you know, because of the specialization that the hospital actually offers.
Well, you know, often when we talk about hospitals and organizations, we look at impact. How is it that, you know, whatever you do, how is it that you know what you're doing is working? So what is it that the hospital does on a day-to-day basis?
Well, we see patients from, you know, a wide variety. Patients come to the hospital because of a wide variety of reasons, from burns to chemo to cancer treatment. There's a lot of research that actually happens also at the hospital where we look at treatment protocols for children and we look at how best to approach the treatment for the comfort of the patients, to whether it's new medication as well. We look at things like that. But I mean, if you're looking at the true impact, I mean, the history of the hospital speaks for itself. If you look at how we've managed to change the lives of children and of their families, where patients present themselves with some serious conditions, and when we come out there and we give the best possible care to every single patient that comes through those doors, we're very proud of that fact.
And you know, I was reading some of the notes about, you know, burning season is upon us. Now it's interesting, you know, that would be talking about the future in the weeks ahead where there's no rains in the Cape, I know in particular. But that changes now because of what's already happened a few days ago. So it's very much upon us, right? What's the plan around that?
So, I mean, this is, I mean, it's a great question. I mean, as you correctly pointed out, you know, we just had this massive fires, which devastated quite a lot of vegetation. Alhamdulillah, you know, we haven't had reports of any fatalities or anything like that from that particular fire. But as you can imagine now, winter does approach. There's a lot of people still using paraffin and sort of fluids to heat up the area around them. And burns, definitely, this is a time of year that we really are concerned about amount of people, and as children as well, in particular, from a hospital point of view, that unfortunately experience, we get accelerated burns, patients presenting themselves. So, I mean, part of what we're trying to do is actually to raise money for this emergency center. And that's we're having a pledge line, but a very, very big drive from us now is this emergency center. Patients come in, present themselves with burns, and then we have to treat them in the best possible way. And at Red Cross Children's Hospital, I mean, we're looking at, with this new emergency center that we've actually launched in April 2019, we're now trying to look at buying equipment for this emergency center. And some of this equipment will be focused on burns patients. I mean,
so this pledge line, I mean, let's talk about the drive. I mean, how much do you need, immediately, or let's say in a year? What is required?
So the entire project actually costs about 122 million rand, right? Alhamdulillah, we have raised so much. We've got the most amazing donors, not only in South Africa, but across the world, who give so generously and willingly. But we've currently got a shortfall of 8 million rand. So we're almost there, as you can imagine. We're almost there. And
you're at the roof, right? Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, the thing is, we've now got this Ramadan pledge line going, and in the month of Ramadan, we are hoping to raise 4 million rand, and that would go a long way to us reaching our targets. And getting that 4 million stage will help us to buy so much equipment. You spoke about the burns unit, but I mean, like, besides people present with burns, I mean, you get people with acute respiratory conditions, especially as it gets cold here in Cape Town. So we and all the other aspects of emergency, protocols. We are just needing to buy some critical equipment that can, give every child that comes through those emergency doors the best chance of, survival, of getting out of a pretty bad situation, and also helping these children and their families to cope with whatever trauma that child has gone through at that particular time. So it's so critical for us to raise this money, and right now, because we are so close. It's just certain pieces of equipment that we need that would really help us to achieve that goal. I mean,
you made the point, and I think being Ramadan, the concept of Sadaqah Jariyah, where there's ongoing benefit, I think cannot be overemphasized, and I think that's important. Then the pledge line, so the 4 million target, I get it. When is this big pledge line and where?
So it's on ITV, and it's going to be on Monday, the 3rd of May, and it's going to be at 8:30, inshallah. So that's the big drive is going to be on ITV, on the 3rd of May. But we also got other ways that people can contribute.
I was going to suggest that. So one thing is but you have to wait for that long before you make your pledge and your commitment, right? So if people want to respond now, right, give me a call to action. What should they be doing now?
So what they can do now is, we've got a website that they can donate on via the website. It's called childrenshospitaltrust.org.za. childrenshospitaltrust.org.za. Alternatively, we've also got a WhatsApp line, 071 22 44 777. I'll repeat it. It's 071 22 44 777. And if you WhatsApp that number, someone will then respond to you and give you directions in terms of how you can contribute.
Okay, I would also suggest that you also, you tag on social media platforms, tag Salam Media, but also tag me, Ashraf Garda. I'll gladly share that as well. I think it's that important, right? If we could just lastly break it down. So the 4 million is like very abstract for most people. It's a big figure. But I noticed you've got specifics, right? Like resuscitation trolleys, syringe drivers, and one can contribute very specifically, like call it ring fenced, right? So give me some numbers there, because I think people would get to that very quickly. Yeah.
Ashraf, thank you so much for that opportunity for us to break it down, because I think that's so important. It's 4 million, such a big number. What is money going for? But I mean, if you as an individual want to give something, maybe you want to donate something, one piece of equipment, and you've contributed, we are able to specify, to break it down like that. So for example, in the burns room, we'll need a wash bed, and one wash bed costs 75,000 rand. So a wash bed, we wash the children gently that present themselves with a burn, and this really helps that particular process to make it comfortable for the child. Another thing, a fluid warmer, for example, is, when we take too long to heat the fluid, that when the child burns, we need to get it off from the child, and this costs about 36,700 rand. You spoke about the resuscitation table. Now, this is so amazing. For 20,000 rand, you can help us to buy a resuscitation table. We currently need 4 resuscitation table, and with this, we can save a life of a child for 20,000 rand. A thing
Absolutely.
like and a syringe driver, for example, we need 17 of those. Each one costs 8,145 rand. What does the syringe driver do? So basically, they manage symptoms like pain, nausea, vomiting, seizures, and it allows us to deliver medicine continuously to the patient to help them to cope with this. And that's the cost of 8,145 rand. And like I said, we need 17 of those.
All right.
And then
All very,
finally-
very important. So, finally, quickly, go ahead.
Sorry, last one. We also need 5 AVOs. Now, AVOs help us with acute respiratory illnesses and children. It's a very common problem that we have in Western Cape, and each one costs 125,000 rand. So, and we need 5 of those. So every cent, we need it. It will help us greatly to achieve our goal of equipping this emergency center.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for setting it all up for us. If people have forgotten everything, it's 4 million in total. Pledge line on the 3rd of May on ITV, but you can pledge now. And the important website, children'shospitaltrust.org.za, and a WhatsApp number as well, 071
Yeah.
2244 777, and lots of questions will be answered immediately. But what I'll do is, I'll also get the Salam Media team here to post it on our social media pages so people can follow it as well. Well, there you are. Very important. It's amazing the type of work. That's the spirit of giving, right? And then we need to understand how your giving makes an impact on broader society. Just imagine if nobody gives. What will happen then? So Reaaz Ahmed is the chairman of the facilities board at the Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital. We'll pick up on what's happening next in Mozambique. I think some really concerning issues with our neighbors, but there's also some voice notes and SMS as well. In fact, WhatsApp messages that we'll pick up right after this.
Over 30,000 children were treated at the emergency